I'm gonna talk about the Powtoon. That was about the interview with the teacher. I really enjoyed doing Powtoons this year. Let's see. So I talk about the part of this interview that I didn't like. Um, but the part of this interview that was really helpful to me, that I really enjoyed, was when we started discussing really what it takes to be a teacher, at least from his experience. And so he said that make sure you like what you're doing, but he says he has multiple interests. So this was the big thing he said. He started 22 years ago. He was a coach, and he said they just said that he would just be there for a year. Now he teaches special education at Bullard. So it's really important to be able to do a lot of different things. He also mentioned to me at another point that they want somebody who can head committees, do stuff like that. Somebody who's willing to be the head of their department, real like leadership qualities, that kind of thing. And so that was really important to me. And then also he said, make sure you do your research on the district before you apply. You want to know what they do. So kind of the values of your district, which I thought was interesting. That really applied back to the class when we talked about when we were talking about the different levels of schooling, from federal educational law all the way down to the individual school. And we discussed how along the way the school's job, part of their job, is to really focus on the standards that the district emphasizes. So that is one of those things that I thought that tied in really well with that. And so the next thing that I wanted to look at was the video response that I did for talking about something that really stood out to me, or not stood out to me, talking about a student that I was watching. So let's play this. So sorry. I observed a 3 to 4-year-old at the Huggins Center, and so I observed her in a preschool class, and I chose her because she was really active. I remember that. So she was very, she walked around the classroom with students and teachers, and she talked to another student and asked the student to look at the class pet with her. I mentioned later where they do artwork together. Sorry. She happily greeted teachers and peers. She had really good social skills. And visual spatial learner. She exhibited the use of radials and diagonals in her drawing, which from what I know in my work was really advanced compared to what the other kids were scribbling on paper. So what this all expressed to me after I did this was when you go into a classroom and you're observing students, you really just kind of see the whole part of it. You see the curriculum, you see the stuff on the walls, you see all that kind of stuff. But when I sat down and actually observed a student, I learned a lot about her. And if I were a teacher, that observance of that student would really help me individualize curriculum for her. So I thought this was a really valuable and eye-opening experience into just what kind of attention it takes to be a teacher. So